in Brussels. Allow me to introduce myself. Many of you I know, but not everybody. And since I know you, I assume you know me. My name is Klaus Bachstein. I'm CEO of the Gallus Group. We have prepared 3 topics for you and for our customers and the audience, since Labelexpo Brussels is the biggest marketplace in the label industry. It's always a nice opportunity for us, obviously, and the whole label community to show what's going on. And I guess that you agree that we have at least one dominating topic at this Labelexpo, which could be called digital, and then there is another topic which has to do with the way labels are cured or hardened on presses. And we would like to cover those topics as well. So I go through quickly who is the Gallus Group. Then the most important thing for us is what we call the Gallus Print Shop concept. I come back to that later, what we mean in detail. Then the Gallus ECS 340 Plus update package. Now there we go then really into product-specific topics. And at the very end, a short overview from our side about LED UV curing. Let me start shortly with the Gallus Group. I won't bore you too long. Most of you, I assume, know who Gallus is. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound arrogant, not at all. But I don't want to bore you as well. Gallus is a Swiss-based company. Swiss-based means the headquarters are in Switzerland. We are predominantly family-owned business, owned by the Rüsch family with 70%. The company was founded in 1923, so we celebrate our 90 years birthday this year. But since we are that old, the party is moderate, I have to say. We party a little bit at home and participate more with customers. And sales, we do approximately 200 million Swisses per year. Turnover, which translates more or less the same into US dollars. And if you want to have it into euros, take approximately 20% off, then you have the euro figure. We sell approximately 115 to 120 presses. That is going to increase in the next years since we have introduced what we call a volume press, the Gallus ECS, about which we will talk later a little bit. Annually, yes, annually. Shareholders, I have stated 70% the Rüsch family, more precise 30 Rüsch, and 30% Heidelberger Druck. Heidelberg joined Gallus in 1999, and we have a shareholders agreement which is basically regulating or administrating how we work together, and the main areas of working together are innovation and are sales and service in certain parts of the world. We employ approximately 600 people. We put a lot of focus on new talent. You see here 68 apprentices, so more than 10% of our workforce are apprentices, which you can add on top of the workforce which is stated here in terms of numbers. We have 4 sites where we develop and manufacture. One is St. Gallen in the eastern part of Switzerland, where at the same time the headquarters of the group is. One is in Herisau. It's a small picturesque place in Appenzell in Switzerland where we produce screen printing plates. Then we have a factory in Langgöns, which is approximately 50 kilometers north of Frankfurt, Germany. And Weiden in the Oberpfalz is close to the Czech border in the neighborhood of the Nuremberg or Regensburg area, where we develop and manufacture folding carton converting systems, so machinery for printing and die cutting. And then we have our sales organizations around the world, in the most important countries, important in the sense of Gallus. We have our own, and in parts of the world we use Heidelberg's sales and service organizations. What do we do? I start to the left, which is getting more and more important, especially if we talk about the main topic of today. Digital services are important. We as a press manufacturer start with talking about service, and especially the consultancy service. I think times are fascinating in the label industry, but at the same time it has never been more challenging for a label printer to decide what we should do next, because there are many opinions. around. And especially if you walk through this Labelexpo, you will have many more opinions, especially on whether you should go digital or you should stay conventional. It's an either-or discussion. We believe that we have to dissolve that. So consultancy is getting more and more important, training is getting more and more important, and we believe that we can and have to play an active role towards our customers. I won't go through all the presses and the rest of it, that's anyway more or less. So now let me come to the main point. From our viewpoint, the Gallus print shop concept. What it is all about? As I stated before, we observe and believe to see since years a discussion in the industry which is structured the following way, in the picture on the center. Meaning, it's an either-or discussion. Should I go
or the other way? And we have a lot of arguments going in one way or in the other way, and most of the participants argue obviously for that way on which side of the road they are standing. We believe that we should go to a next level and should talk about what is the balance of arguments for either one of these technologies. And we show the first time in the label industry, at least, that you can combine these technologies, meaning conventional and digital, to a picture in the sense of the customer, and at the very end the customer has to ask himself, how and where do I make money? Not do I print digital or conventional or whatever. So, we say the Gallus print shop concept is a new method to produce labels, more cost and time saving, and it's an end-to-end solution and not a product or technology specific solution. I show you in a moment what we mean with that. We combine the advantages of both digital and conventional printing technologies, and I start already in adding here, you might, some or those of you, and there are quite many, who remember our old logo before Gallus moved, in addition to the label business, into the folding carton business. We had a claim below our logo which was called Success and Security for the Label Printer. And this Success and Security for the Label Printer as a claim which is the core of our mission statement is obviously still true. And one key note of that statement is we are a full range supplier, meaning we want to bring our customers, the converters, all relevant printing and converting solutions. And obviously nowadays digital is one of them. In the past we had the discussion, I'm now almost 20 years in
MIS to do that. And the major tool is an MIS software which helps you to determine which process and which methodology is the best for a certain job. More to that later. So we break up traditionally press-oriented production paths or methodologies to a cost and efficiency-oriented production path. And the last statement I have made already when I was arguing about success and security of the label printer being a full range supply. So I said before there are some prerequisites or requirements. We need to do that, to combine digital and conventional technologies. We need an MIS workflow software specifically developed for the label industry. We need a connectivity of label printing machine systems. In our case, we have created that connectivity by a special software or a focused software called PressLink 1.0. And obviously, in an ideal world, you should know the application of your customers. So, know-how of the industrial label production process. What are the customer benefits? He has a complete offer of all printing methods if he combines digital and conventional. He has better press utilization, automatic job data capture for smooth reprint. All of that obviously is driven by the MIS system. Less work
and less, let's say, non-value added topics to planning and managing the printing jobs, so running the plant. And at the very end to create a profitable combination of digital and conventional printing. So we claim that we are a one-stop shop or solution provider for fast in cost-effective label production. Let's have a look at this little chart here. It is very busy. I try to run through it, and it really shows the concept of the Gallus print shop, which we have installed here at Labelexpo. So basically we have installed a little label printing company, and we go through the workflow or the value chain of creating and producing a label. Not creating, getting it into production. We start at the very beginning with the order entry. We put that into the system. The system we use is from a company called CERM, C-E-R-M, which is a Belgium-based company which has a dedicated software system. It's an ERP system, and the modules before and after production planning are covered by that. Some of you might know CERM was bought a couple of years ago by Heidelberg. So it's part of our family, if you want to say so, and by that, naturally, we started off with our Belgian colleagues. And within that CERM software, we decide, based on certain criteria, which way to go if a job comes in, and the run size is known to us, the parameters are known to us. We go through the system, and the system will help us to decide, do we go a conventional way? Do we go a digital way? Or do we go, let's call it a hybrid way? And it's very much depending on the parameters how we set the system. So again, what we show here, the lower line is the traditional way. In that way, we would go into pre-press, preparing the jobs for the press. We go on press, and then we ship or dispatch. We can go an additional way, which for instance would be preprint, the majority of the label, typical product decoration, let's call it a shampoo label or something like that. And then we go the digital way for late stage differentiation. We add, for instance, different languages, different colors, imagine a hair label, as I just mentioned, etc. And then we go into dispatch. Or we could do the same on purely digital and go then into the converting on a Gallus converting unit called Gallus ECSC. We have prepared for you a set of labels which Nicholas will hand out if you please go after our little discussion here to him, where you see the same label produced on 3 different presses. And it's a combination, or they are stapled together. The first staple with 2 labels is printed on the Heidelberg Liner Print L. I forgot to say, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, as the digital device, Gallus is using the Heidelberg Liner Print L, which is a 4-color inkjet label printing machine. The most compact and at the moment the fastest with 600 dpi on the label market. The next label, exactly the same, has 1 embellishment step more on it, and we have done that on the Gallus ECSC. So there we have 3 labels on the same string, and the last string with 4 labels is done on an additional press, which is not here on the chart. It's the Gallus EMS 410, or EM 430S, excuse me, which we have on the booth as well. And please have a look at yourself about the discussion of print quality and comparability of digital and conventional print. We are the opinion we are already quite far, and without real detailed insider knowledge, you wouldn't see too much difference, at least not me, if I put myself in the position of a consumer. So at the very end, as I said before, the question is about making money, and how do I make money? And we want to offer a system or a solution which allows the customer to make the decisions based on job-specific criteria, which way to go, and as such to use the most economical way to produce a certain label. So, I have said that already. For the digital path, we use the Heidelberg Liner Print L, which is a 4-color inkjet unit, as said before. You see it here, it's very, very compact. It's very, very compact, roll to roll.
having, so to say, an inline solution with digital print and call it conventional converting, or he can decide to print roll to roll and use the digital the converting unit as an offline unit, as it is known in the market since a couple of years. So, again, our main statement here, the question is how to make money and to combine the best arguments of the various technologies to evaluate
from the viewpoint of our customers for their customers, the label buyer. I'd like to come to the second point, the Gallus ECS 340. We have updated this press. Let me say a couple of words to the Gallus ECS 340. We have launched this press 4 years ago here at Drupa. Some of you might know it is what generally is spread as a word, the so-called stone press. So it has as printing basis, as basis for the printing unit, a technical granite. The technical granite has the advantage that it gives the press very, very nice stability, and as such we have no vibration issues, etc. We have a very, very short web path on the press, up to now still the shortest, with 1.20 meters between printing unit to printing unit, and a small footstep obviously. And we have developed this press over time, as press manufacturers do it, and add additional capabilities to it. And the major capabilities which we are bringing to the press now are the following. You can read it on the right-hand side. It is screen printing, so we add now, besides flexo, cold foiling, screen printing. We have a more powerful UV drying. More powerful, why? Because first of all, we see changes obviously in some ink formulations, low migration stuff, etc. And the other question is that the press can cater a broader range of applications, meaning substrates, and therefore a more powerful UV drying. Secondary rail system, which adds flexibility to secondary positions. New unwinding, rewinding device and foil kit. This is especially important if somebody would like to use this press for thinner film material or monofilmic material, and in future we will see more, let's say, plastic material capability on the press. Therefore you have to cater web tension, and therefore we have made a new unwinding and rewinding device together with a new software update which manages that. And we have put on the press a new user interface which will be in future on all Gallus presses, so that if Gallus users buy one of our press models, they need to be basically trained only once and can use their know-how or bring that know-how to the other presses. So you know that from other industries like the airline industry, where Airbus does that since a couple of years. So if you are able to, let's say, not fly, but use the main methodology of an A320, you are able to do the same, or the logic is the same in the A340, and obviously in the 380. And we have a new printhead update package, which is a more robust printhead, which gives, especially for these thinner materials, higher print quality security. Again, making money, it's less waste and setup time for a wider application range. By now we have sold of this press, it's the most successful in our history. By the end of the year we will have sold 200 machines worldwide within 3 years. We are quite happy with that. Last point, a topic as well on Labelexpo as we see it, not only from our side, LED UV curing on, in our instance obviously on Gallus machines, but you can generally say on all machines. I would like to go back into 2009 when we showed and introduced the Gallus ECS 340. We said we would like to bring to the market the most efficient press for the customer, and that included, besides waste and setup times, a new energy efficient solution. Energy efficient was certainly our, and still is, our UV solution, which was ductless at the time, so no exhaust, exhaustless. And we had on one printing unit, actually on a varnishing unit, we have integrated an LED UV curing module. Some of you might know, for sure Andy, I remember we had an interesting discussion in front of the machine. And what happened since then? It obviously didn't take up in 2009, but the industry was working on it. And today you can say that you have LED UV curing systems with 16 watts per centimeter, which are much more, let's call it, practical than at the time. We can integrate those in all Gallus printing presses. We have worked together with one of the major ink manufacturers, in that case Siegwerk, in developing, respectively, adjusting the inks for LED curing, for flexo, screen and varnishing, and in our belief or in our observation, the range of inks which is usable now for production is already at a decent level. And it was not at all in 2009, and it will certainly further develop. We believe that the LED UV technology will play a major role in the future, but we have at this point of time still some, let's say, some hurdles or gaps to overcome. And I think the most important at this point of time is that the investment in the UV curing solution itself, so the lamp systems, is still very high considered to the traditional UV curing. So we talk approximately, depending on the press and the specification, we talk approximately between 20 to 30,000 Swiss/US dollars per head, per print head. So you take a 6-color press and you add anything between 120 to 180,000 just for UV curing. That's quite a heavy investment. And so we have to see how, not we have to see, we have to find the applications, and we have to help the early adapters of the industry to find applications on which they can make money. They are there, no question. And there are big advantages of that technology. And as such, we start offering it, and we have by now in the market approximately 25 installations, but I have to be very open and clear, these installations are on our digital presses. The Heidelberg liner prints else. The first conventional will go soon to market. It has been beta tested at our house, and we are very positive about the results which we have seen. No comparison to 4 years ago. That's it from my side, gentlemen, or ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, ladies. And I invite you to ask questions, respectively, to get into discussion with us in case there are any. And Nicholas is prepared to hand the mic around. Please. Andy, yes, please.